Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of Plus News Online. I'm here with James Oliver, our roving reporter, to provide you with news on past and future events in the Plus Groups UK. So the first event we're going to cover is WASH 2022, and James will give you a brief summary of what happened at that marvellous event.
Well, it was fantastic to be back at Searles, and also it was great to actually socialise with my fellow Plus members. I arrived about Friday evening, coming from Solihull. I had a great time. It's nice to actually go back to Searles. I didn't have the sat nav. All I did, the car pointed in the direction of Kingsley, and it seemed to drive itself to Searles. There's three bands on the Friday night. I fortunately missed it, but the Saturday night band was called London Calling. It was a nice, decent rock band, and they managed to fill up the dance floor with some good tunes. And then the Sunday night band was a really good band called Boogie Nights, and they played disco classics from the 70s and 80s, and they certainly got all the people doing certainly got all the people to on the dance floor. So it's really good to be back there, and I enjoyed the social occasion of. Yes, I know some people had questions about the bed and breakfast. Well, I actually find it quite nice because it was a good chance to socialise and speak to people from other groups and other areas over a cup of coffee or a meal. And the evening meals were quite good as well and quite well priced. I like chili con carne on Saturday night. That was quite good. And also the Sunday roast on the Sunday night. That was really good, and that's had a good selection of vegetables. And Keith Israel gave a short 1 minute overview of how well he felt the event went on after the event on Sunday night, because he was a bit deflated because after Sunday night that's the end of his event until next year.
Another washover. Every time at this time of night I feel really low and flat, as I have done for years and years. But I'm really happy that it's been a great weekend. We've got so many more people seeing old friends or whatever. And of course next year is the great big party for the 40th anniversary. You will be so welcome. We'll make a proper fuss and we'll make sure that we put on a party that will be unforgettable. And I just thank you for everyone who came this week.
Right, the next national event was in January when Lichfield Group organised an online murder mystery. Again, James, our roving reporter, will tell you a bit about that. James.
Well, I'm a lover, not a murderer, according to one of the lines in my script. It was a good. Last year, in 2022, Francis ran it for the first time. Me and Francis found a company which did these online murder mysteries, and the first one we did was in a winery in south of France, and it was well received. We did it for charity, and we had about 10 participants. Some people had to do multiple roles, and because it was well received, we decided Lichfield wanted to run it again. And after presenting the budget and deciding to do it for charity, which was the Brain Tumour Research Trust, because we've heard that one of the people within the Federation or closely connected to the Federation has a brain tumour, and it's quite sad to see. So Francis and Chris Malloy, they organised it, presented the budget to area, which got passed to help out with to help out with the any subsidies to make it up to the agreed amount, but they actually made a surplus. So they chose the pop music, and we had about 12 pop people watching or participating as in the event, and it's quite fun actually. As you said at one of the lines, I was a Dutch pop techno music man, and Mr. Smith here, he was also one of the people, and it was really good fun. Some people might complain about how I'm acting; they're not really actors, but nobody. It wasn't really. Wasn't a professional. You weren't expected to be amateur dramatics, or it was just a good social occasion with friends over Zoom. You know, quite fun, and I think they might try. Litchfield might try to do in 2024 again. We had a break, and so there was about 4 rounds, and after each round we were able to question each of the participants. We had some slight teething IT issues, but they were soon resolved. And the great thing about Zoom is that you can also run over a telephone line if you need to be. And so Francis was able to present through Litchfield Plus, was able to present a cheque to the chosen charity for over £100. And I think you and Mark Bonehill, who participated, got the correct person who was the murderer.
And who was playing the murder role?
Oh well, John, that
was me as well. The first big national event of the year is the annual general meeting. This year it took place at Didcot Civic Hall, and it was a hybrid meeting, in person and on Zoom. And it was surprisingly well attended. James, what happened?
Yes. Oh, yes, it was. I was pleased that we got the hybrid element working right for people who couldn't come to Didcot and who had to just remote in. I was pleased to see people like Brian from Rothwell and Liz and Francesca Barkley from Redbridge. They were able to participate and participate in the conference. So thanks to Adam Redshaw for getting the IT sorting out for the hybrid element of the AGM, and also thanks to Matt Dickinson for agreeing to run the event as a hybrid element, you know, for people from people who had a very long journey away, or to actually come to participate in Plus, which is, I feel, you know, members' participation is the most important part of Plus. You know, is what was Plus funded on. So, and also we had people from, like I said, Litchfield, Solihull. We came down, and yourself from Leeds for the AGM, and then we had people from Adam, obviously from Coventry, with brought down his equipment, and Erica, and also we had the area chairs and also people from NTAC as well come up. So it's quite good that all the groups were able to, who did come to Didcot, whether physically or remotely, were able to participate in the AGM. It was quite a surprising AGM because, first of all, we had a contested election with 3 candidates standing for national chair. I've never seen it before. I've seen it once or twice where 2 candidates have contested the election for national chair, but not 3. So it was quite good to see a contested election for the position of national chair. And well done to see Rolf who got in. So we got Erica Knight back as HGS, Alison Jones another term as NFO, Adam Richell is going to do more training, and I may email Adam or put a notice that I'm happy to run a session for how to create your own Facebook page or how to use Google Forms to do an online quiz. And Ben Allen, who does an excellent work with the activities, you know, he did a brilliant 80-ish reunion celebration last year at the Western Hall Hotel in July. And he also runs the spring break all around Holborn sites. Last year was my first year at Cotswolds, and I'm going this year. And then Jeff Ray's done some work on the website as elected. So I was pleased to see most positions filled. Obviously, there's a few which need to be filled, or somebody's looking after the role while they are while they're still remaining vacant. But that's good that somebody's actually looking at the roles. Then we had the motion about creating not necessarily a centralised national database of members, but at least something that starts to address the problem of who is, if you're running in a national event, who is entitled to come as a member and who isn't, if you need to. So I was pleased to see that motion pass. We had a good discussion between the delegates for and against this motion. And it's the first step, you know, to help Alison with the insurance renewals, to tell her how many members the Federation has at the time when the insurers wants to know it. And then we had a good discussion about the future of the AGMs. I think the hybrid model will continue. And also I think I think people still want to physically meet in person as well. If it is if it does go around the country, people still can participate, log in remotely and participate into the AGM proper. And we had a discussion about what trophies we should still award. Maybe a couple should be retired or mothballed onto further notice. But I think certainly the core ones, the best area, best group, charities, and Linda Street should be tried to be awarded each year by the Federation. And also Adrian Barnard, Jerry Edwards, and Ian Crawshaw were all re-elected as VPs to serve the Federation again, which is pretty good, because Steve Rolfe will have their experience of being national chairs and their experience as VPs to guide him should the need of that rise.
And this year's awards, I understand some were awarded at the AGM itself and some at a meal later. Yes,
so Martin Posner won the Linda Street Award, Spirit of 18 Plus, and NTAC got the best area, followed by best group for Links Quest. Links Quest also won the charities, and Redbridge won the Gold Trail, which is always a subjective one. It's not the most; it's the most novel way. And I thought people were discussing it. I think Francesco Barclay's, doing a scavenger hunt was the novel way of raising charity for the year.
Yeah.
And well done her. And Midland Area got the Treasurer's Trophy. Sometimes it just pays to just enter accounts into national to get the award.
Yeah.
And then a couple of Norbury Trophy, I believe, was Stevenage. And I don't know what Stevenage got a Best Event Award as well, but I don't know what it was for. Could be the boating holiday, which they do every year around the Midland Ring.
I believe it was.
Okay.
So again, we've got a little video of outgoing National Chairman Matthew Dickinson about the outcome of this year's National Annual General Meeting. We'll show you that now.
Very productive meeting. I think it's good to have a contested election. I think the person that won can feel that they're the real choice of the Federation. I think the debates, people sort of came up with a lot of interesting ideas, and I look forward to them being taken forward. Hopefully people are inspired to get out there and recruit new members.
So that brings us to future events. Let's see, the next national event will be the springtime holiday at Holborn. Is it Holborn? James?
Cotswold, yes, Holborn Cotswolds. It's my second year to Holborn Cotswolds. I booked on last year. Actually, it's a really good event because it's a nice place. Unlike Wash, where Plus will book the Wash committee will actually book the musical acts and hire all sorts of venues. This year we'll be mingling with the public, but also we won't be doing the booking the events. We'll be hopefully Holborn Cotswolds are having some good events on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So we'll be going on their events, and I'll be staying all 3 nights. So I've managed to book that off with work. Last year I had to miss the curry and head home because it was just one time of year for me. But Adam was also arranged. There's a curry house in the local village, and Adam's Redshaw's arranged 20 to 30 hungry people to have a curry at 6 o'clock on the Sunday evening, a bit earlier than last year because he realised by the time they got back it was about 10 o'clock and they probably missed most of the music act. I think Nick Leaks got the music act because he ordered on Just Eat, the same curry house. So he had his curry at about... everybody was waiting for everybody in the restaurant was waiting for the curry. Nick Leaks was enjoying his curry. So it's a really good event. There's a nice walk to this village of South Kearney, about half an hour away. Or if you're more adventurous, you could walk to the source of the Thames, which is in that general area, about 5 or 6 miles away, and go along the Thames Path. I understand from various videos on YouTube, it's actually not, it's just a concrete post saying this is a source of the Thames in the middle of the field. It's generally in that area the springs of the Thames is. You'll see all the water lying there, and that's generally the start of the Thames. I believe one member's actually trying to walk all the Thames Path from its start from the source of the Thames all the way to the mouth of the Thames in Essex, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a long walk in sections, I believe. So And also the caravans, obviously you don't get the hot tubs as you do with Seoul's, but they are very nice caravans. And the weather's much better because it's in spring, and generally last year we were quite lucky with the nice warm weather. So as I say, it's spring-like, so you get longer nights, you get less storms, and you get more good weather.
Yeah. Okay.
And also it's quite compact, so it's quite a small caravan site to walk around. I believe there's a local town called Cirencester, which is, although it's Cotswolds and you think Gloucestershire, it's actually over in the border in Wiltshire, the actual site, while Cirencester, the main town's in Gloucestershire. And that's a quite nice town to walk around because with the Roman walls and because it was a former Roman encampment, Cirencester. And I believe Burton on the Waters is within driving distance. And I was going to go last year to Stonehenge, but decided not to do it, but to help fellow Plus members with the treasure hunt around Cirencester. Boy, did I pound those streets of Cirencester that day. So, and then Ben Allen on Sunday will do a quiz. He's managed to get the venue to close off one of the restaurants on site, and we'll have a quiz there. And this is a great thing about Cotswolds, Holborn, or Seoul's. You don't have to cook for yourself. There are restaurants there, so that they do quite nice. Seoul's obviously included the your breakfast as part of your cover, but that was quite nice. But obviously in Holborn you pay extra, but their breakfasts are quite nice. And if it's a nice day, you can look over the lakes and the swans on the lake, and take a leisurely breakfast before going out to either, like I said, Cirencester or to Burton on the Water, or you've got quite a number of towns nearby there to use as a base to visit from Holborn Cotswolds.
Well, that's the beauty of the Cotswolds, isn't it? It's full of picturesque villages.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the source of the Thames, reminds me of the walking weekend. That's the next national event. Last time we were there at Hafren Forest Bunkhouse, we went on a walk to find the source of the Severn. So that's this year's event. Obviously, we won't do the same walks as we did last time, but the base will be Hafren Forest Bunkhouse, which we will have exclusive use of. We also will be catered there, breakfast and dinner.
Yes, I've paid. We obviously have to make our packed lunches.
Yeah.
But that's been factored into the price.
Yeah. So that's an event to look forward to. There's very few places, so book early, as they say, to ensure you get a place. But that's a really good weekend. Central Wales is very picturesque. Lots of places to walk.
Yes, I was quite surprised by how nice the venue was. We didn't do any scouting of the venue at first. So when we came in 2021 on the August, that was the first time we actually saw the venue for the first time. We saw it on the internet, and we just quite surprised by how well it was. You know, it was quite a nice, compact venue. They had all the drying rooms, everything you associated with walking. Darren and Sarah made us feel very welcome at home. Darren's ex-RAF, I thought said he was.
I believe so.
And on the Sunday when we went to the source of the Thames, he was in the other valley on the source of the Wye, leading Duke of Edinburgh students, I think,
Yes.
on an expedition down the River Wye all the way, rather than, for us, it's just the source of the Severn, but they're going to follow the River Wye all the way to its Cardiff, or where it meets the Severn, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, but they're going to be doing over several days. But yes, it's a really nice venue. And then on the Monday, we went to the local reservoir and saw, unfortunately, it was during the COVID restrictions. So some of it was, they were operating on reduced hours. So we weren't able to get into the cafe.
Yeah.
But it looks quite nice there. There's a possibility of a walk around that reservoir.
Yeah.
And that supplies Bristol, I think, with most of its water. Or certainly that side of, from Severn Trent, that side of Bristol and Gloucestershire with its water. And even if you don't like walking, or you can use it as a base to do some cycling from. There's quite a few routes, cycling routes. I know there was, they said that we could actually be more adventurous. I know we went to the car park and then walked, but they said that we could have been adventurous and taken the path from the centre to the source of the Severn if you wanted to add on extra steps. And that's in August, where hopefully it'll be really nice weather. We may want some little bit of drizzle to cool us down on the walks, because that's important, but not the sheets of rain we don't get in summer, but just a nice drizzle to cool us down during the walks.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got, like I said, John said, Darren and Sarah, a really nice couple. They look after us really well. We're exclusive use of the venue. They've got about 4 rooms with bunk beds in each room. So we like them filled.
Yeah, and a very comfortable lounge and
yes,
spacious dining area. Yeah.
Yes, and also Wi-Fi. So
yes,
you don't have to give smoke signals to communicate. You can actually connect to Wi-Fi and take calls that way.
Yeah. So yeah, and finally the big event of 2023 will be the 40th anniversary of the Wash Weekend. Again, it's at Searles, the founding venue of the event, and it promises to be a big, fantastic event to celebrate the 40th anniversary of this favourite Plus weekend away.
Yes, I've already started to pay my deposit. I know a few people have paid half, something like £75 already into group bank accounts. I'm looking forward to it. I'll certainly get the time off work and try to come for the 3 nights, Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights. And I'll be doing the half-board option, which I think is worthwhile. Obviously, I don't know the price of the half-board, but I think it is quite reasonable value, I think you had the meal on the Saturday night without booking the half board, and you said it's probably about £7.99 when you booked?
Well, I can't remember the exact price, but I did work it out that even if I had paid for the half board and still had my Sunday meal off-site, I would have paid a lower price.
Okay.
So from that point of view, it's worth it. So
Yes.
yeah, this year when I book in, I'm going to book in. Well, I'll probably book in full board. Get breakfast as well.
Yes.
Because even with one meal off site, you're still getting good value for money. So I think I will do that this year. Yeah.
Because I agree that doing the half board, booking the evening meal, it's good value. You gets you out to the venue and back to your caravan. The hot tubs this year again going in the. I know there's few people who will have hot tub parties at midnight, post midnight. Well,
Okay.
Shall I say, middle hour. Looking forward to hosting the NEC meeting in May. We will work with Steve to find him a good venue. We've got a couple of venues in mind. One is where we once held the Solihull Quest Disco, which it's in the village of Knoll, which is just down the road from me in Solihull. So it's quite local to where I'm here. So there's quite a few halls or hotel rooms, which if Steve wants, or pub rooms, if the NEC wants to hold the NEC meeting. Solihull's got an abundance of conference venues. We've got some big ones such as the NEC, but I think that's too big for us.
Yeah. Well, Steve recorded a little invitation video at the Links Quest quiz, which we'll play for you now.
Morning, my name's Steve Rolfe. I'm here in sunny Grimsby. I've just attended Links Quest Hearing Dogs quiz, charity quiz. I just want to speak to everybody about my year as a national chairman. My hopes and dreams is to try and bring the organisation together. The last couple of years with the pandemic has really sort of tested our organisation, and obviously the friendships have been sort of lost as we find ourselves dispersed, so to speak. So on the 20th of May, I'm holding an NEC meeting in Coventry. I'd like to welcome anybody to that meeting. It will be also virtual, so if you'd like to join, please come on board and join me. And my hopes are to bring the organisation together as a whole and to reignite the whole organisation back to some of its core values that we had in the 1990s. Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Plus News Online. If so, give us a like in the YouTube channel and make some comments about it. If you've got any requests for things you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please let us know. So it's good night from me, John Smith, and it's good night.
Good night from me, James Oliver. I just want to remind you that all these events are run by members for members. So you will not have paid people, non-members running events. All Plus events are run by members. So thank you. That's all I can say.
Thank you and good night.